Vaping, a modern device used by mostly teens and the younger generation to inhale smoke and often nicotine. Now, it's often been rumored as the safer alternative to cigarettes, but the reality is that this is simply unknown. And we simply don't know enough about the effects of vaping and its long term effects to know if that is a true statement or not. And in terms of being a safe alternative, well, the only true safe alternative is not smoking either. And I hope after this speech that you will agree with me on that matter. So, in this speech, I'm going to cover the health effects that you could suffer from partaking in vaping, as well as my personal experiences that I have had to deal with from vaping. So, first off, there's many organs and parts of the body that can be affected through vaping, and one, which could possibly be one of the most important organs in your body, is the heart. Vaping will increase your heart rate, and can then increase your blood pressure, and it will also increase the risk of stroke, heart attack, angina, and heart diseases. Now, of course, none of this sounds enjoyable and can all prove to be fatal. And the heart is not the only thing to be affected by vaping. The next slide. The other organ that can be greatly affected by vaping, which can seem obvious, is the lungs, which, since vaping is bringing all that smoke and all those other chemicals directly into your lungs, this is, of course, could be an obvious organ that is impacted. Now, vaping is affecting your respiratory system, and it can cause several things such as popcorn lung, which is small tears in the airways of your lung, which sound about as bad as it is. It can cause lipoid pneumonia, which is when the lungs become inflamed due to all the foreign oils that you're putting into your body that come inside the juices. And it can also even cause a collapsed lung, which is the same wound as a knife or gunshot. You can literally experience the same wound from vaping on your couch at home watching TV as you would if you were being potentially mugged on the street, to put that into perspective. Now, vaping has not been around for very long. It is the modern vape was made around in the 2000s and wasn't exactly 100% popularized at that time of initial release as well. So the amount of data that has been accumulated for vaping is limited. So with that being known, the long-term effects of vaping are ultimately unknown to scientists and the public alike. So with that being said, why be the guinea pig? Why ingest this substance that is literally not been tested to be safe for long-term consumption? I mean, at one point, cigarettes, we did not know the long-term effects of cigarettes, and that lack of knowledge and being in this form of ignorant bliss that has let people in the past smoke cigarettes for so long, and now we're somewhat repeating the exact same formula, but with vapes. We don't know the long-term effects. Nothing is happening to our body at the present time of actually smoking it, so we feel invincible and that this product is simply not going to harm us in the long run, which could be entirely untrue. Could be very permanent and very negative and potentially fatal long-term effects that could substantially cut the lifespan. Now, as I mentioned before, I have personally experienced vaping. I used to vape quite heavily just recently. I actually, this past, like about over a month ago, I quit vaping permanently, cold turkey, without the use of any other nicotine substance to help my addiction, because I was absolutely addicted to vaping. It is very easy to become addicted to vaping due to its convenience and the fact that you can hit it at any point in time. Lucy, that's my cat. Please stop hitting on the camera. And since you can become so easily addicted to this product, to be able to stop using the product to beat the withdrawal can be very, very difficult, very hard. There's a reason that people can become hospitalized due to withdrawal. And I have felt these effects, and I can promise you that withdrawal is no joke. I am someone who has suffered many painful incidents in my life. One being I've literally walked over 100 yards on a broken ankle, and I can tell you that that did not compare to going through withdrawal at all. Not even close. So I did manage to kick it though, and I have successfully been vape free for over a month now, as I mentioned. But putting things in a black and white perspective, it was not worth it at all. I mean, like I said, I got addicted, so I'm literally smoking this device, not because it's giving me that buzz and the sensational feeling that I used to feel at initially using the product, but instead I'm now using it I was using it to fill my addiction. Because eventually the buzz, it starts to fade, your tolerance builds, and now you're simply just smoking this device to feed your addiction that is ultimately lowering your lifespan. So of course, putting things in black and white perspective, it seems like, duh, why am I going to use a product that ultimately is going to stop working and also hurt me physically and as well as health-wise? But overall, I hope that you have seen that the effects of vaping are very real, as even though with what we know right now, and the potential long-term effects are very unknown, and that should be a very scary thing to people, honestly. And lastly, if you do get addicted to this substance, I can promise you that kicking the substance is very, very difficult. So I hope everyone steers clear of vaping and knows that it is not the safe alternative.